Cambridge, Massachusetts, a world-renowned hub of innovation and technology, surrounded by the historic Charles River and bordered by the Mystic River watershed. It is a city defined by its relationship with water. But like many historic cities built on rivers, it faces a growing challenge. As weather patterns change, Cambridge is facing much more frequent and intense rainfall events. Understanding what Cambridge does with this water is essential to the future of this city. Urban flooding isn't just a concern for coastal cities that deal with sea level rise. In Cambridge, a heavy downpour can quickly overwhelm streets and local infrastructure. Residents and commuters frequently encounter significant pooling on major streets like Massachusetts Avenue, while neighborhoods near the Alewife Brook and the port face distinct risks. In the Alewife area, historically a natural marshy wetland, the land acts like a giant low-lying bowl. When severe storms hit, the Alewife Brook can easily overtop its banks, pushing water directly into local parks, roads, and residential basements. Making matters more complex, older parts of Cambridge still rely on a combined sewer system. During major storms, the sheer volume of stormwater can trigger combined sewage overflows, or CSOs, meaning the floodwater backing up into the community is untreated wastewater. Meanwhile, a few miles away in the port, the challenge is purely urban. As one of the most densely built and paved neighborhoods in the city, it lacks the open green space needed to naturally absorb water. This leaves the neighborhood entirely dependent on the city's underground pipes. When heavy downpours max out the subterranean capacity, the water backs up, disproportionately impacting ground floor businesses and residents with basement apartments. According to the city's own climate data, New England is seeing a measurable increase in the frequency of these sudden, intense bursts of rain. It is a reality that transforms flooding from a future climate prediction into an immediate, everyday management challenge for the city. The root of the issue lies in a combination of geography, climate trends, and historic design. Decades of urban development have covered the city in paved surfaces that cannot absorb water, forcing rainfall directly into the drainage system. This dynamic is colliding with a rapidly shifting climate. Historical baselines from the late 20th century measured a standard, severe 100-year storm at roughly 8 inches of rain over 24 hours. But municipal climate models show that by 2070, a 1% probability storm will dump up to 11.7 inches of rain in that same 24-hour window, an overwhelming amount of water for an urban environment. In a recent interview we conducted with Cambridge climate activist Julie Wormser, she emphasized this exact shift, noting that the city's infrastructure was built for a stable climate of snow and light drizzle that no longer exists. According to Wormser, because Cambridge was partially constructed on filled salt marshes with older drainage systems, these increasingly intense storms are leaving the city highly vulnerable, forcing a shift in focus from preventing floods to learning how to handle the water with minimal harm. Worse still, city models project that by 2070, sea level rise and storm surges could push ocean water over or around the Boston Harbor coastal protections, threatening to back up the Charles and Mystic rivers and push river water straight up Cambridge's drainage pipes. These infrastructure challenges have direct effects on the people who live and work here. The impact of localized flooding often depends heavily on a neighborhood's specific geography and housing stock. According to the city's Climate Change Vulnerability Assessment, the risk is not distributed evenly. Neighborhoods in northern and eastern Cambridge carry a higher physical and social vulnerability, where a catastrophic citywide flooding event could disrupt nearly 128,000 local jobs and cause an estimated $43 million a day in lost economic activity. In our interview, Julie Wormser underscored these hidden day-to-day impacts, particularly for residents who lack the financial means to recover from property damage. She explained that because Cambridge still relies on combined sewage overflows, heavy rain causes stormwater to mix with sewage and back up into basements. This creates severe health hazards like mold and pests, destroys cars and personal belongings, and in rare extreme cases, poses a risk of drowning. Wormser emphasized that a core focus of the city's Resilient Cambridge plan must be targeting public funds towards residents without private wealth, ensuring that those who cannot easily manage the financial shock of a flood are not left behind. In response to the issue of flooding, Cambridge has initiated a series of long-term infrastructure and policy updates. In 2023, the City Council adopted aggressive climate-resilient zoning requirements, mandating that new, large-scale developments design habitable spaces around strict 2070 flood predictions. Simultaneously, the city is heavily investing in massive civil engineering solutions. In neighborhoods like the Port, underground holding tanks like the one at Parking Lot 6 have successfully captured over 3.4 million gallons of stormwater during a single rainy season. Other massive subterranean tanks, like the 1 million gallon holding facility under the Tobin Montessori School or the proposed 2.1 million gallon tank on Sherman Street, are being built to temporarily hold runoff before it overflows into neighborhoods. Our interview highlighted these exact efforts as Julie Wormser talks about the core components of the city's overarching Resilient Cambridge plan. She explained that because Cambridge is almost entirely built out, the city relies heavily on advanced data analysis to predict flood risks and guide new development. According to Wormser, current regulations now force major renovations and new builds, particularly in vulnerable areas like Alewife, to meet strict flood-resilient standards. While she acknowledged that the city cannot eliminate heavy rainfall entirely, she noted that the strategic placement of underground stormwater tanks, combined with updated zoning and accessible digital flood viewers for developers, is crucial for reducing the frequency, duration, and overall damage of future floods. The future of Cambridge depends on how effectively it balances long-term planning with current infrastructure realities. As climate projections indicate a steadily wetter future for New England, the city's ability to withstand these environmental shifts will rely on continuous investment and community-wide adaptation. The multi-million gallon holding tanks under our parks and the updated zoning guidelines governing our newest buildings are significant steps forward. However, engineering alone cannot entirely eliminate flood risks. Building a true resilient city requires ongoing collaboration between municipal engineers, local business owners, and residents across every neighborhood. By systematically addressing these vulnerabilities today, Cambridge aims to protect its historic character, its vibrant economy, and most importantly, the people who call this city home. The challenge is complex, but the groundwork for a more resilient future is already being laid. Thank you for watching.